7 Psychological Tricks to Become Rich. 7 Psychological Tricks that will make you rich. What many people don't realize is that becoming rich isn't as simple as one might imagine. Sure, some people will inherit millions of dollars or accumulate wealth by winning the lottery, but a 2017 survey found that 88% of millionaires are self-made. Only 12% inherited their wealth, which means the majority of people who become rich work hard to do so. But more than hard work, their success is driven by secret psychological tricks they employ to both earn and save more money. And in today's video, I'll share with you the 7 psychological tricks that will make you rich. If you find the video you watch useful, we invite you to subscribe to our channel and support us with a donation. Your help is precious to us and will allow us to continue producing quality content for you. You can do it here below, through the appropriate buttons, subscribe, and thanks. Trick number 1. Making small decisions. The rich know that small choices, when added up over time, can have a big financial impact. The simple act of saving money, regardless of the amount, can make you feel more motivated and in control in ways you might not expect. For example, saving just $5 a day with a 10% compound interest would allow you to save $1,885 in just 1 year, which doesn't seem like much. But if you did this for 40 years, you'd end up with $948,611, a significant amount of cash to have at your disposal. In addition to being able to accumulate a large financial nest egg by adding together these small but positive daily choices, this commitment to saving gives the rich a sense of control that many people lack in their financial lives. You see, there are many aspects of life that are beyond your control. For example, you don't have much control over the economy or the job market, and because of this, it can be easy to get discouraged when things don't go your way. To avoid feeling defeated, give yourself the opportunity to make a choice about something you do have control over. Choosing to save is a small way to have a say in your financial life. Ask Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit. In his latest book, Smarter, Faster, Better, Duhigg writes, motivation is triggered by making decisions that demonstrate to ourselves that we are in control. The specific choice we make matters less than the assertion of control. In other words, it's not really about the $5 you save or the extra $25 you decide to put towards your debt. It's the fact that you're making that decision, in the first place, that makes this psychological trick incredibly powerful. Trick number 2, don't trust yourself. What the rich know and the poor don't, is that no one is perfect. Put another way, the rich tend to be more self-aware compared to their less wealthy counterparts, and that's why they employ tactics that will reduce their tendency for self-sabotage. One of the ways they do this is through the use of automatic deductions. You see, for the rich, income generation is often not a problem, but what prevents people from turning this significant income into significant net worth is their ability to save. When faced with the opportunity to spend, it can be difficult for even the most responsible to refrain from pulling out money, and that's why they like to automate this savings process. If you're not familiar with automatic deductions, they work as follows. Every time you get paid, a portion of your paycheck is withheld from going into your main bank account. Usually, people set up a savings account where this money is directed. Many wealthy individuals take this practice a step further by restricting their access to this savings account to ensure that the money intended for this reserve cannot be spent, no matter what happens, which ensures that their savings fund grows over time. Trick number 3, imagine your rich future self. What do great athletes, famous actors, and successful entrepreneurs have in common? Besides being rich, the one thing that unites them is their use of visualization. Almost everyone who is successful will tell you that you need to imagine yourself achieving your goals before you can realize them in real life, but unfortunately, some people can't see beyond their daily state. For example, spending $5 on a Starbucks coffee doesn't seem like a big deal, and every day millions of people give away their change to fuel their caffeine addiction. However, for those aiming to become rich, those $5 can have a deeper meaning. A wealthy individual faced with the decision to spend $5 on a premium coffee would likely consider the future cost of making this purchase. You see, those $5 today will grow to $100 by the time you retire. If you thought about it this way, you might change your mind, right? What the rich do and the poor don't, is to constantly ask themselves what the future cost of their spending decisions is and whether they align with realizing their rich future lifestyle. And if you think this visualization technique is something new, think again. Napoleon Hill's classic Think and Grow Rich, first published in 1937, outlines a step-by-step approach to matching visualization with action, and millions of people have successfully used this technique. Hill suggested in the book that the first step is to fix your mind on the exact amount of money you desire and to be clear about when you expect to receive this amount. Jim Carrey famously tried this technique in 1990 when he wrote himself a fake $10 million check for acting services rendered and dated it 1995. He gave himself 5 years to become one of Hollywood's most successful actors and was able to cash that check he had written himself 5 years earlier. In addition to visualizing the amount you want to earn, Hill also advised determining exactly what you intend to give in exchange for the money you desire. After making these statements, Hill suggested closing your eyes and imagining living that rich lifestyle every single day until it materializes. This technique is said to program our unconscious mind to find solutions to our financial problems and allow us to better see resources, people, and events that will help us achieve our goal. Trick number 4, sleep on it for important expenses. While sleep can reduce stress, improve memory, and elevate mood, what most people don't realize is that it can also help you make wise financial decisions. In fact, sleep can be an important tool in your toolbox when it comes to saving money. First, without adequate sleep, your decision-making abilities decrease, and the possibility of riskier monetary behaviors increases. So that car you normally wouldn't consider buying might end up in your driveway. Second, sleep gives you time to contemplate important expenses. Taking the evening to sleep on big expenses allows your unconscious mind to process information related to the purchase and analyze it while you're dreaming. Trick number 5, spend only cash. The next psychological trick that wealthy individuals use to get rich is to spend only cash. I'm sure you've been out before and seen someone pay for an expensive item or a luxury dinner with a roll of bills, and while your first impression may have been that that individual was just trying to show off, there may actually have been a calculated reason for this behavior. You see, whether you're buying groceries or a new phone, spending cash makes us notice the monetary effect of our actions. This is because as we pay, we are physically handing over money and see the decrease in our wallet, while when using a credit or debit card, the potential for spending seems almost infinite. Part of this pain we feel when spending cash is due to what researchers call coupling. When someone buys an item with cash, they immediately know how much that item cost, which can be painful. However, when someone pays with a credit card, there is a period of time between when they purchase the item and when they have to pay for it, which makes the cost seem less important. So, how much more will it cost you to pay with a credit card versus cash? In 2001, MIT published the results of a study analyzing spending behavior when spending cash versus credit card. The results showed that shoppers spent up to 100% more when using their credit card to pay instead of cash. So, if you want to curb spending and use this psychological trick, cut up your credit cards and start carrying more cash. Trick number 6, calculate the cost in hours. The penultimate psychological trick that the rich use to increase their wealth is to convert the cost of their purchases into hours of work. For example, if you earn $20 an hour in your job, buying that new $100 shirt is actually 5 hours of your time. Unlike the poor, the rich habitually ask themselves if the item they're getting is worth the time it took to earn the money needed to pay for it, or in this example, if that shirt is really worth 5 hours of work time. When you start to see your purchases in this light, it will drastically change how you perceive the value not only of your money but also of your time. The interesting thing is that this way of thinking doesn't just benefit you when considering a purchase but can also be used to evaluate how you spend your free time. In general, the time you spend working in your job or business are productive hours, but what about leisure time? Have you ever assessed how much money you're giving up by mindlessly scrolling through Instagram or Facebook news feeds? In 2018, the average social media user spent 136 minutes, or more than 2 hours a day, on social networking sites. Let's assume you earn $80,000 a year in your job or about $40 an hour. Is browsing Facebook for 2 hours a night really worth $80 to you? In short, whether you're purchasing an item or determining how to spend your time, keep in mind that everything has a cost, and what distinguishes the rich from the poor is how they value these precious resources. Trick number 7, use the stranger test. You walk into a store and see a shirt you think would look good on you. While now you know you should evaluate how many hours you're trading for that $50 shirt, you still feel compelled to buy it. Well, before pulling out your wallet and completing the transaction, you should subject yourself to the stranger test. If you've never heard of the stranger test, let me explain it to you. Imagine a stranger in front of you. In one hand they have the shirt and in the other they have $50. Which would you prefer to have? In most cases, the cash is probably more appealing. By regularly adopting this approach, you'll start to see yourself continuously choosing money over the item, which consolidates your position in not making frivolous expenses and holding on to that money. Now, here on the Daily Wisdom channel, We aim to provide value, so before concluding this video I want to share with you a bonus trick that is fundamental to your financial success. Bonus trick: believe in yourself. While all the previous tricks will help you earn or save money from a practical standpoint, the rich not only believe that getting rich is natural, but they believe it's a right, and this self-esteem is the backbone of becoming rich. Stephen Siebold, author of the book How Rich People Think, has studied hundreds of self-made millionaires and notes that world-class thinkers know that in a capitalist country they have the right to be rich if they're willing to create massive value for others. After conducting hundreds of interviews, Siebold concluded that it wasn't the lack of desire that held the masses back from getting rich, but the lack of belief in their own ability to make it happen. In short, none of these psychological tricks will help you get rich if you don't believe you deserve to live your dream of a rich lifestyle. So, before implementing these 7 psychological tricks in your daily life, first make sure your self-esteem is aligned with the ambitious financial goals you've set for yourself. What was your experience with the topic covered in this video? Tell us about it in the comments, we are curious to know. And if you have any doubts or questions, don't hold back. Leave a comment, even just a simple like would be perfect, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel to stay informed about upcoming releases.